Hello friends, very good morning. So today we will continue with our law, business law. Now, yesterday have you all revised till all the classes yesterday? Okay, please revise and come whatever is taught in the class. Now today we will start the next unit, that is unit 2, consideration. Okay, everybody had your breakfast? Yeah? Then okay, let us directly dive into today's topic. It is consideration. Unit 2, consideration. We have already heard about this word. What is consideration as defined earlier? Yes? Very good. It is quid pro quo. That is something in return. What does consideration means? Quid pro quo. That is something in return. That's what we have learned in the earlier unit. Now in this unit, let us define consideration as per section 2D. Section 2 subsection D defines consideration as, see, it should be at the desire, consideration, whatever you are giving in return, that should be at the desire of promisor. Yes, at the desire of promisor, promisee does something, all present, past and future. We will include all the three tenses, has done, will do or is doing. Okay, so consideration andrenu, yaar desire irbeku, desire at the desire of promisor. किसका desire होना चाहिए? Promisor के desire के accordingly. If promisee does something or will do in the future or is doing something, then it is called as consideration. Okay, that's the first definition. Next, at the desire of promisor, when promisee has abstained, will not do or is abstaining, then also it is consideration. Now what is meant by abstaining? First ಏನಿತ್ತು, ಅವನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, all the three tenses. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, negative sense. Abstaining means negative. Okay na? So करना और नहीं करना दोनों भी include हो जाएगा. Abstaining means not to do something and to do something. Both are included. But it should be at the desire of promisor. Clear? Consideration should be at the desire of promisor only. Promisee has to do at the desire of promisor. Has done or abstained from doing, does or abstains from doing, promises to do or abstains from doing something. Such an act or abstinence is called as consideration. Nothing. ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅವನು ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸರ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು or according to the promisor ಕೊಡಬಾರ್ದು. That's only consideration in simple words. Clear? Okay. Next, let's split this definition one by one. First one, consideration is an act doing something. Of course, it is in the positive sense, doing something. For example, Ajay guarantees Bhuvan for payment of price of the goods which Bhuvan wanted to sell on 1 month credit to Chaitanya. Here, selling of goods to by Bhuvan to Chaitanya is consideration for his promise. Correct? Okay, what has happened? Payment of price of the goods which Bhuvan want to sell on 1 month's credit to Chaitanya. Selling of goods on credit by Bhuvan to Chaitanya is consideration. At the desire of promisor, he is selling the goods at credit. Okay, so this is again what? Consideration in return. Next one. See, college promises students that whoever will score for 90% for year for the job in MNC need not be, consideration always need not be monetary. Always need not be monetary. It can be like you will get a job in MNC if you score above 95%. There is something in return. If you score 95%, you are getting a job in return. Correct? That is also a consideration. Consideration always need not be in money. That's the one point. Clear? Next. Consideration, first point was is an act. That is to do something. Second point is consideration is abstinence. Abstinence means not to do something. Okay, in the negative sense. See, what is it? ABC offers, has a shop of electric items. XYZ wishes to open another shop. So, if I have an electric shop and another person wants to open the same electric shop beside my shop, Then what I can tell, I can offer you 2 lakh rupees. Please don't open the shop near me. You can open somewhere else. Now, what has happened? I am giving the money for not to do something. Correct? Neen ill open maadbeda. That is why I am giving you the money. So that is again a consideration, but it is abstinence. Okay? Avun madalla andre we have to pay. That is something in return for not doing something. That's the second point. I think you would have got act, abstinence. Both can be there for consideration. Third, it must be at the desire of promisor. Very, very important. Desire of promisor is very important. Next, consideration may move from promisee or any other person. Now, what is meant by this? We will see again here in detail. May move from promisee or any other person. Okay, it can be past, present or future. So we have just split the definition part. Now we are studying all these points in detail in the coming section. Okay, form of consideration, it can be some benefit, right, or profit to one party, loss or forbearance to the other. Now let us study what are the legal rules regarding consideration. There can come a direct question, what are the legal rules regarding consideration? Okay, that's a possibility of a question being asked in the examinations. So what are the legal rules? First one, consideration must move at the desire of promisor only. As I have already said it, consideration, whatever you are giving in return, ಅದು ಯಾರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಇರಬೇಕು? ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸರ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ವಿಶಸ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗೇ ಇರಬೇಕು. ವಾಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಸೈರಿಂಗ್ ಅವನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನೀವು ಅದು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಓನ್ಲಿ ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್. ಕ್ಲಿಯರಾ? ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡೂ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಥರ್ಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಡಿಸೈರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸರ್, ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಓಕೆ, ಚಲೋ. Consideration must be offered by the promisee or the third party at the request of promisor. Next, contract of marriage in consideration of promise of settlement is also enforceable. An act done at the desire of third party is not a consideration. Please remember, only act done at the desire of promisor is consideration. Act done at the desire of third party is not a consideration. But contract of marriages in consideration of settlement are enforceable. Marriage contracts nulli, if there is a settlement, then there is enforceable contract. Now let us see one case law, Durga Prasad versus Baldev. You can write down in your case law section. Durga Prasad versus Baldev. Okay, what happened in this case law? Listen to me. Now what we have said in the first thing, consideration must always be at the desire of promisor. Very, very important. First rule, at the desire of promisor only, not at the desire of third party. Okay. Now if you have returned, shall I wait? Done? Okay. Now here D wanted to sell some products in P's market through his agency. He has some agency, see, to pay P a certain commission which will be sold through. What is D doing? D wants to sell some of the products through P because P has an agency. Okay. Now he is ready to pay some commission to him. I will sell my products through your market and I will pay you a commission. Okay. But P constructed the market. Okay. P constructed the market according to the desires of C and not according to the desires of D. ಅವನಿಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, ಡಿಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು ಟು ಸೆಲ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡನ್. ಸೊ ಸಿ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅವನು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನೌ ಈಸ್ ಡಿ ಬೌಂಡ್ ಟು ಪೇ ದ ಕಮಿಷನ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್. ಡಿಡ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ದ ಕೇಸ್ ಲೋ? He wanted to sell some products to P. He wanted to sell the products through P because he had an agency and he will pay the commission for those products. Okay. Now through his agency he has to sell the market. Now P has to create a market to sell those products. But P constructed the market according to C and not as per the requirements of D. Now, is D bound to pay the consideration, pay the commission to P? That's the question. Clearly, the answer is no. Why? Because market should be constructed according to the desire of D, promisor, not according to the desire of third party. If it is done at the desire of third party, then it is not a consideration. Clear? Okay. Next one. Consideration may move from promisee or any other person. I just now said I'll tell you what it is. So, consideration may proceed from the promisee or any other person. Suppose I have to suppose I make a contract to sell the house for rupees 5 lakhs. Okay. Now, 5 lakhs should be paid by that other party to me. Correct? Yes. Now, if that third party, if that 5 lakhs is not given by you but given by me to somebody else, ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರು ಬಂದು ನನಗೆ 5 lakhs ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸೊ ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದಾ, ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ? Can I accept that 5 lakhs from them or not? I want to sell the house for 5 lakhs. ನಮ್ಮಿಬ್ರ ಮಧ್ಯ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. Okay. Instead of you paying me 5 lakhs, some other party is paying me 5 lakhs. And he is telling that he is paying for that behalf. On your behalf, he is paying me. Can I accept that consideration? If I accept it, is it a valid consideration? Yes, it is. Consideration can move from promisee or any other person. Promisee was you, I was the promiser, promisee. So, consideration can be moved from promisee to any other person. But, very important to remember, if you accept those 5 lakhs from that third party, can you again ask 5 lakhs to the promisee? No? Double benefit. Anedu. No, not allowed. Once you accept, then his obligation is over. Promisee is not bound to pay to you again. Clear? Yes. So, in consideration may proceed from a promisee to any other person. But again, one more thing, there can be stranger to a consideration, because that third party was a stranger to the consideration. Stranger to a consideration is allowed, but stranger to a contract is not allowed. We will see what is it in later sections. But for now, just understand, consideration can move from promisee to any other person. That is, there can be a stranger to a consideration. Clear? You can write down if you want to. There can be a stranger to a consideration. Stranger to a consideration can be there. But there can not be strangers to the contracts. You want to write down? But there cannot be strangers to the contracts. Very, very important. We have a case law again. Write down the case law. Chinnaya versus Ramaya. Chinnaya versus Ramaya. Okay. Now, this example, see what has happened in this case law. An old lady made a gift of her property to her daughter with a direction to pay some of the annuity to his uncle. In this case law, what has happened? An old lady has asked her daughter, there is an old lady, she has asked her daughter, she has given all the property to her daughter. Okay. Now, but that old lady has made a condition that you have to also pay some of the allowance to your maternal uncle. What she has asked? Make an annual allowance to, see, with a sum of money by way of annuity to your maternal uncle. She has transferred all her property to her daughter and asked her to transfer a little bit of annuity to her maternal uncle annually. Okay. Now the daughter executed writing in favor of bother agreeing to pay. She said she agreed. Okay, mom, I will pay the annuity. But the daughter did not, however, pay the annuity. Daughter did not. But she agreed clearly in front of mom that I will. But she did not. Can uncle now recover for the annuity? Tell me. This is the question. Did you understand? See, old lady transferred all the property to her daughter, but made a condition that you have to pay some of the amount to your uncle. She also agreed to that condition, but however, she did not pay any annuity to the uncle. Now, can uncle recover the amount from the daughter? Is the question. Yes? Why? How? She agreed the conditions, so she has to be bound by it. Okay. Then what else? Yes? Yes, definitely she can recover. Yes, definitely uncle can recover the amount from the old lady, even though he is not a party to the contract. Can you see? Contract happened between whom? Old lady and a daughter. Correct? But still, uncle not being a party to the contract, was he a party to the contract? No. He was not a party to the contract. It means he is a stranger to the contract, but he still could recover the amount from the daughter. How? We will see it later. Remind me at that time. Ma'am, I said one case law. I said it, I will tell you at that time. Because right now, immediately what I thought that there can be stranger to a consideration, but there cannot be a stranger to a contract. Correct? Now there is a stranger to a contract, yes or no? But still he could recover the amount. How? We will see it later. Remind me there. Okay? Next. But here in this particular case, uncle can recover the amount from the daughter. Okay? Next one. Executed and executory. We have already familiar with these words. Executed means where the performance is already done. What is promised is already done. Then it is called as executed. Executory means still there is a promise. Inna promise ade tara ide, inna ad madilla. Then it is executory in nature. Okay na? Suppose I have to deliver 100 bags of rice for rupees 1 lakh rupees. I have delivered 100 bags of rice, but you have not yet made the payment. Nindinna madad baki idena, your promise is still pending. So that is executory in nature. Nan madbittidre adu executed. If performance done, executed, still to be done, then it is executory in nature. Now consideration may be past, present, future. Definition nalle nodidivi. Consideration ಏನಿರಬಹುದು? Past ನಲ್ಲೂ ಇರಬಹುದು, present ನಲ್ಲೂ ಇರಬಹುದು, future ನಲ್ಲೂ ಇರಬಹುದು. Suppose in the same example, present ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ನಾನು ನಿನಗಿದು ರೈಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ, ನೀನು ನನಗೆ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೀಯ. This is present. Okay? But I gave you the rice, but you will pay me in the future. That is future. Now what is past? Considerations for the past. A cash sale is a good example for present consideration. A promised some services to be at his desire after a week. After a week, B promises to compensate A for the work done by him. It is said to be past consideration and A can sue B for recovering the promised money. See, I provided some service to you a week ago. Service ಯಾವಾಗ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ? 1 week ago. ಅವಾಗ ನಮ್ದೇನು ಮಾತಾಗಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ that we will pay for that particular service. We did not promise any kind of money for that particular service. Okay na? Now, but what is happening now? But because I liked the service so much, I enjoyed the service, I voluntarily said that I will pay you the money for that service. Okay? Then I will be bound to pay the amount. When I agreed to pay, even though she did not ask me earlier, there was no contract as such, but when I agreed to pay the amount, I have to pay it. That becomes past consideration. So it is always affected by the past events. Okay, past consideration is always affected by the past events. Okay, past consideration must move by the previous request only. Previously ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರನೇ past consideration work ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಂದ್ರೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. Clear? The consideration if past may be the motive but cannot be the real consideration of a subsequent promise. Subsequently ಏನಿರಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಹಿಂದೆ ಮಾಡಿರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು we are paying. That is the only thing for the past consideration. Clear? Any doubt? So last 2 points there. Consideration need not be adequate. Very simple example is, suppose I have a bungalow, a very lavish bungalow, and I am ready to sell it only for what price can you accept for a lavish bungalow? At least 1 CR. Yes, but I am ready to sell it for only 1 lakh rupees. Will you take it? Yes, of course. Of course, everybody will line up, ma'am. I want. Yes. Now, see, the bungalow is huge. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ amount ಇದೆನಾ? No. Contract ನಲ್ಲಿ I am selling the house only for 1 lakh. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕಂತ amount ಇಲ್ಲ. So, is it a valid contract? Selling the bungalow for 1 lakh only, even though my bungalow's valuation is 1 CR. Now, is it a valid contract? Tell me. Quick. It is. Consideration exactly product ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. It need not be adequate. Okay? So it can be less, it can be more, but there should be a consideration. At least 1 rupee ಆದರೂ ಇರಬೇಕು. Okay na? If there is nothing in monetary terms, then it is not a contract at all. It becomes barter. If you exchange goods for goods, then it is barter. So there must be a consideration. Okay na? At least 1 rupee ಆದರೂ ಇರಲಿ, ಏನಾದರೂ ಇರಲಿ, ಬಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. But again, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. What are the things like whether the party was under pressure? Did you give the bungalow? Did you make the agreement under any pressure? Did at gunpoint, or did somebody threaten you to make such kind of contract? ಏನಾದರೂ ಅಂಥ ಕೇಸಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಎವಿಡೆನ್ಸ್. ನೋಡಿ, ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ತುಂಬ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ನಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಈ ಥರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಅದರ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕೋರ್ಟ್. Okay, so that point you should be careful. You should be able to prove that the other party has done this agreement in free consent. Okay na? Next, equal value ne illa antandre it is your bad bargain. It will be considered as your bad bargain, but consideration need not be adequate. Adilla antandrunu that there can be a valid agreement. Okay, so that's what it is said here. Last one, performance of what one is legally bound to perform. Suppose in the court, whenever a witness, now nodidivalla in the movies, imagine any of the movie, a court case is going on, you know, witness comes, there is a call for the witness comes and stand in the witness box and tells, correct? You know that witness, whoever presents themselves as witness in the court, they get paid from the government itself, from the court. Okay na? But witness ಆಗಿ ಯಾರು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, that for them government only pays it. Government or the court rule it is that they get paid. Okay, now suppose to present, ನಂದೇ ಕೇಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ನನಗೆ ಅವಳು ಬರಬೇಕು to stand as a witness. I want her to come and give the witness. Now I make a contract with her, please come, we will pay you this much. Arey, what you are paying? The government is already paying the same amount. ನೀನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅವರು ಆಗಲೇ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. Okay, so consideration for what one is legally bound to do, it is not considered as consideration. Legally ಅದು ಕೊಡಲೇಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಲೀಗಲಿ ನಾವೇನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಅದು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕೌಂಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಲೀಗಲಿ ಅವರು ವಿಟ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಂದರೆ ನಾನು ಕೊಡಲೇಬೇಕು. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಸೆಪರೇಟ್ಲಿ. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಸಿ, ಪರ್ಸನ್ who is legally bound to perform the same cannot be the consideration for a contract. When she comes as a witness, I have to pay her. Again, I make a contract, if you come as a witness, I'll pay you this much. No, madam, you have to pay it legally. Legally, you are bound to pay it. And hence, that is only the consideration. Hence, that will not be regarded as a consideration. Clear? Okay, na? If I am legally bound to pay something, then that is not regarded as consideration. Next one. Promise to pay to a witness is void because it is without consideration, and hence contract is void for want of consideration. I cannot make an agreement with the witness to pay because I am already legally bound to pay her. Next one, a promise to pay 2000 to a doctor over the fees is, example nodi, a promise to pay 2000 to a doctor over the fees is invalid, as is the duty of the doctor to give the treatment for his normal fees. Fees ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು 2000 rupees ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು void, because ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ ಏನು, ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಫೀಸ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಕ್ಲಿಯರಾ? ಸೊ you cannot make a contract with the doctor, if you give me the treatment I will give you the fees. Are normal fees have to be given, that you are legally bound to give. Okay, legally bound to, I am, whenever I go to a consultation I have to pay minimum rupees that you are legally bound to give. Again, you cannot make a contract that if you make my treatment I will pay you this much. That will not be regarded as consideration. Next one, consideration must be real and not illusory in nature. It should be real. Just imagination irbardu. I will give the treasure or anything imaginations alla, which is physically possible, which is physically available, that can be given as consideration. It should be real and not just imagination. A man promises to discover treasure by magic, bringing the dead person to live again. These are the examples of illusory considerations, and those are invalid. Consideration again must not be unlawful, immoral, opposed to public policy irbardu. They must be lawful and good for the society. Suppose, example, ABC Limited promises to give job to Mr. X in a government bank against payment of 50,000 is void. Ning government nal job beka, you want a job in the government? Yeah, I will get you the job. Please give me 50,000, I'll give you the government job. It is corruption. It's not allowed. Okay, it's opposed to public policy. So let us quickly revise what are the essential elements of consideration. First, consideration is an act to do something, correct? Act. Second point, quickly tell one by one, it is an abstinence. Abstinence antandre not to do something. Third one, consideration yeah, you can tell me the points quickly, everybody one by one tell the points. We will just recapitulate what it is one by one. You have, so third one is it can be executed or executory in nature. What is the fourth one? Consideration can be past, present or future. Need not be adequate. Okay, remember my bungalow here. Okay, next. One who is legally bound to pay, remember the witness. That is not a consideration. One who is already legally bound to pay, that cannot be regarded as consideration. Last, real, not illusory. Next, it should be not unlawful, immoral, opposed to public policy. Correct? So these are the rules with regards to valid consideration. Okay, whenever you are asking the question, so you should be able to quickly write it. Okay na, with examples. You should be able to give examples for each. Now next one, moving to the next topic, suit by a third party to a contract. First they say that there is no, okay, there is a doctrine that under the Indian Contract Act, consideration for an agreement may proceed from promisee to any other person. Correct? We have seen that if I accept 5 lakhs from the third party, yes? So consideration may move from promisee to third party, we have seen. But they clearly say that third party cannot sue on the contract. ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್, ಥರ್ಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೇಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಯಾರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅವರಷ್ಟೇ ಕೇಸ್ ಹಾಕೋದು. ದೇ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೀವ್ ಈಚ್ ಅದರ್. There cannot come a third party and sue that party, any of the parties. Clear? That is what the general rule is. General rule ಏನide? Only the parties to the contract can sue on the contract. So third party cannot sue on the contract. But again, so this is the concept is stranger to consideration is valid, but stranger to a contract is not valid. Now there are some exceptions to this doctrine. This doctrine is called as doctrine of privity of contract. That stranger to a contract cannot sue is known as doctrine of privity of contract. But ee doctrine ige there are some exceptions. What is doctrine of privity? Tell me. Doctrine of privity. If it is asked in this unit 2, you can just expect some direct questions. What is doctrine of privity? Yes, there can be case laws also. Stranger to a contract cannot sue. This is the important rule. Stranger to a contract cannot sue on the contract. Are you remembering some case law here? Yes. But we have some exceptions to this rule. Wherever there is a doctrine, no, there are exceptions. First they tell the general rule, then they tell there is an exception to this rule. Okay? Chalo. So let's see what are the exceptions. First they have clearly said only parties to the contract can sue each other. Now they are telling there are some exceptions. So let us see one by one. Again an important one. In case of trust. Trust andre which trust? Which trust? Trust ka matlab kya hoga idhar? Bharosa, faith. I trust you as my friend. Trust? No, that's not trust here. Trust is like community, yeah, religious trust, social trust, charitable trust, educational trusts. Okay, in case of trust, beneficiary means one who is getting the benefits out of that trust is called as beneficiary. Okay, so the beneficiaries can sue the trust for the settlement. Whenever there is a settlement between settler and the trustees, during that point, if the beneficiaries are not getting what is their right, then they can sue on the contract. Even though trust nalli enagutte, contracts happens between the trustees, settler madhya enu iralla, beneficiaries madhya. So what they can do, even beneficiaries can sue the trustee and the settler for the settlement of the contract. Even though beneficiaries being third party, they can sue. Clear? Now next, in case of family settlements. Now remember the case la Chinnaya versus Ramaya. What happened? In Chinnaya versus Ramaya, I said that uncle third party alla? Uncle third party or not? Yes, uncle third party. But according to doctrine of privity of contract, can third party sue on the contract? No. Doctrine of privity ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? Stranger cannot sue on a contract because is not party to the contract. Contract ಯಾರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಆಗಿತ್ತು? Old lady and the daughter. Contract ಇವ್ರ ಮಧ್ಯನೇ ಇತ್ತು. So old lady can sue the daughter, daughter can sue the old lady. That's the only thing. But uncle ಗೆ allowance ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. Can uncle sue on the contract because he is a third party? Yes, he can, because in case of family settlements, it's an exception. ಇದು family ಅಲ್ಲ, family matter, and hence he could sue. Clear? So first exception is in case of trust. Second exception is in case of family settlements. Okay? So family settlements, which case law we have? Chinnaya versus Ramaya. Are you clear? Now next one is in case of marriage settlements. All kind of family issues. Okay? Marriage settlements, even though what has happened, again we have one example. Suppose there's a father and a daughter and one more son-in-law. Yes. there is Mr. X's wife. What has happened? Miss X is not treating his wife correctly. Okay. So now, but he promises wife's father contract between two. What is the contract they are making? They are making that I will treat her properly or else I will pay her monthly allowance. I will treat my wife properly. He is making a promise to the wife's father that I will treat her properly, otherwise I will pay her the monthly allowance. Now but he again ill-treated her. Now, does she have the right to sue Mr. X and claim the allowance? Question nodi keli artha aita. He is ill-treating. ಏನಂತಂದ if he ill-treats then he has to pay the monthly allowance. Contract ಯಾರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಆಗಿದೆ? X and the father. X is promising the father that he will treat well. If he does not treat well, he will pay the monthly allowance. Now he mistreats the wife. Can now wife claim for the allowance? Wife allowance ಕೇಳಬಹುದಾ? Third party ಅಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇವರಿಬ್ರು ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಇವ್ರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. Contract has happened between these two. Contract किसके साथ हुआ क्या? Contract wife के साथ हुआ था? नहीं. Contract किसके साथ हुआ था? Between father. अब बोलो क्या वाइफ X से पैसे क्लेम कर सकती है या नहीं? Yes, she can, because again it is in case of marriage settlements. In the case of marriage settlements also third party can, it is family but still in case of marriage settlements also they can claim. Okay. Next, in case of assignment of a contract, whenever we speak about the assignments means you are getting the benefit out of a contract. You said that whatever business we will do, we will give 10% commission to you. You are getting profits out of that particular business. As promised, they should pay you 10%. If they don't pay you, can you recover? Contract ಯಾರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಆಗಿದೆ between them that whatever business or whatever they will get, they will give some portion to you. If they don't give you, can you recover that amount? Yes, you can. So in case of assignments, okay, but such assignment should not involve any personal skill. That's the rule. Personal skill involvement irbaadu. Next, see the example. Mr. Ankit Sharma has assigned his insurance policy to his son. Now son claims. Now, son can claim even he was not a party to the contract. What has happened? Nominees anta elect ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, correct? So, even though contract ಯಾರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಆಗಿದೆ, them and the insurance policies, insurance companies, but still they can son take the benefits? Yes, he can. ಯಾರಿಗೆ benefits assign ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, they can claim their benefits. Even though they are not party to the contract, they can claim their benefits. Clear? Last one, no, not last but least, acknowledgement or estoppel. Now suppose when promisor by his conduct acknowledges himself as the agent of third party, it would result in binding obligation. Always remember, whenever you get the word estoppel. Okay, let me give you an example of estoppel here. What's meant by estoppel? See, very, very important word. This will come very frequently in all over the law. Okay. So, estoppel means what? You are actually in real you are not. But you acknowledge yourself as that you are that person. That's called as estoppel. Ma'am, what is this, ma'am? Fully confused. So, need not worry. What happens is somebody comes in. Okay, somebody comes in, suppose you are my student, but I introduce to somebody, in real what you are my student, in real you are my student, but you are sitting with a chair beside me. Somebody came in, I introduced you as my business partner, then you kept quiet. You did not say, I was introducing, because you had a very good reputation with them. Okay, with that person you had very good reputation and that could benefit me. So what I did, I introduced you as my partner. So that is why now, because you are in a good relationship with them, they could give business to me. So I introduced you like that and you kept quiet. You also agreed for whatever I said. This thing is called, in real you were not actually my business partner, but you acknowledged to be the business partner in front of the third party. Correct? That's called acknowledgement or estoppel. Now you become a partner by estoppel. Okay, now if I get anything, any obligations arises due to that particular introduction, then you will be bound for those obligations. If ಆ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ನನಗೇನಾದರೂ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಸಪೋಸ್ ನಾನು ಅವ್ರ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಏನಾದರೂ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಈಗ ನಾನು ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸಪೋಸ್ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹಿ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಯು ಫಾರ್ ದ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್? ಎಸ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಬೌಂಡ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅವ್ನು ನಂಗೆ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಯಾಕೆ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ವೇರ್ ದೇರ್. Clear? So that's called by estoppel. That's one example of estoppel. But here, promisor by his conduct, let us relate now to this example. If L gives M 20,000 to be given to N, okay? Somebody is giving me money, please you record. Okay? Now, he has given me the money to give him to the money. I take it. Okay, I take the money from L and I inform N. I call and tell, see, I already got your money, the money is with me. I have told that third party N that the money is with me. Now, afterwards, M refuses to pay the money. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, I called and I acknowledge that money is with me. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಾನು ಮನಿ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ, I don't have the money. Can N recover the money from L or from me? Listen to the question carefully. L gave me some money to be given to N. Okay? Now, I took the money from L, and I acknowledged. I called up N and said, see, I am having your money. I am holding your money on your behalf. Okay? ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಿನ್ನ ರೊಕ್ಕ ನನ್ನ ಕಡೆ ಇದೆ. I acknowledged that fact. Now, but afterwards, I am refusing to pay N. Now, can N recover the money from L or M? N ಯಾರ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ recover ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು? N can recover the money from me, not from L. Okay, that is called I become consideration. estoppel ಇಂದ ಏನಾಯಿತು? I became actually ಅವನು ಕೊಡೋದಿತ್ತು, but ಈಗ ಏನಾಯಿತು? ನಾನು ಕೊಡೋದಾಯಿತು. Understood? So, that is called by acknowledgement or estoppel, the consideration may pass. Now, last one, in case of the covenants running with the land. What is meant by the covenant running with the land? Covenants running with the lands. Again, there is an exception. Third party can sue here also. See, in case of covenants running with the land, suppose whenever there is a purchase of land with the notice that the owner is bound to do certain things affecting the land, it is specifically related only with the lands. Okay? So, whenever covenants with the land antandre, it is related with the land only. Owner of the land makes a condition, some conditions. So, that condition will pass to the successors of the sellers. Once in land ನೀವು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಅವನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಸೆಲ್ ದ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಟು ಸಂಬಡಿ ಎಲ್ಸ್, ದಟ್ ಸಕ್ಸೆಸರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಶುಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಬೌಂಡ್ ಬೈ ದೋಸ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಸೊ ಮುಂದೆ ಆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಯಾರಿಗಾದರೂ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ, वो लैंड किसके पास भी जाएगा, कभी भी जाएगा, आगे भी जाएगा, तो भी वो पर्सन विल बी बाउंड बाय दोज कंडीशंस. Even though originally contract happened between the original seller and the original buyer. Okay, terms your madhya ittu. He purchased the land, he got a good price, he sold it to some other person, but still that conditions should be followed by the next successor also. Clear? That's called. You have some doubts? Didn't get it? So let me example, take the example. Suppose there is an two lands here. Okay? Now, what is happening? Okay. A owner has two lands. He sold one land, and the adjacent land is agricultural land. He sold only this land. Okay, but the adjacent land is an agricultural land. While he is selling the land, he clearly made a condition that this land should never be used for industrial purpose. While selling the land, the owner clearly made a condition, I am selling this land to you, okay, but this land should never be used for industrial purpose. He made a condition. Suppose we will make A and B. A made a condition clearly with B that you should not use it for industrial purpose. Okay, now, and he should never use it. Now suppose B sells the land to C. B sells this same land, now it is sold to C. Now can C use it for industrial purpose? Contract happened between only A and B, Allah. Now can C start anything, any industry here? No. Why? These are called restrictive covenants. Even the contract iವ್ರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, but third party, the successor, ಇವನು ಯಾರಿಗಾದರೂ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ, he should also follow. He should also follow. Okay, so all the successors of the land should follow that restrictive covenant. Okay, those are called as restrictive covenants affecting the land may be enforced by the successor of the seller as well. All the successors are bound to that particular restriction. Clear? Even though they are not party to contracts, they are bound by the restrictions. Clear? Now last one, contracts entered into through an agent. Whatever contracts are entered through the agents, but third parties are still responsible. Okay, contract happens between agent and the customer. I am principal. Suppose I supply goods to agent. He sell the goods on my behalf. Okay, he will sell the goods on your behalf to the customer. Now, okay, contract between these two. He is selling the goods to this particular person. But if he does not make the payment, do I have the right to recover the amount from the customer? Yes, I do have. Okay, so any contracts happening through the agent, principal is responsible. So these are the points. Even these are the cases where third parties, even those stranger to the contracts, can sue. Now let us recall quickly who are the strangers. Number one, in case of trust. Second, in case of marriage, family settlements. Third, in case of marriage settlements. Fourth, assignments. Assignments means giving benefits or profits. ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ರಿಕವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, or estoppel. Do you remember? Are you able to recall? ಇದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? Yeah? Okay. Next, covenants. Covenants running with the land. All third party, all the successor are bound to bind by the. Now last one is consider contracts through the agents. These are the 7 exceptions we have. Okay. Now I think this is the last topic, but can I continue? Okay. Now next, validity of an agreement without consideration. इष्टोत्तु नाव ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, इतना टाइम से हम बोल रहे हैं कि कंसिडरेशन है तो ही कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है, कंसिडरेशन नहीं है तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं है. Consideration is one of the very essential element for a contract. If no consideration, no contract. That's what we said till now. But now see what we are telling. Very important, remember this section, section 25. What does section 25 says? Any contract made without consideration is void. Any contract made without consideration is void. No consideration, no contract. Clear? That is said in section 25. But again, this rule has some exceptions. Antandre consideration illa, but still there is a contract in the following cases. So that conditions are again, there are subsections of 25. First 25 says no consideration, no contract. Any contract made without consideration is void. But now they are making some exceptions to this rule. First one, contracts made out of natural love and affection. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ದ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್. ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಲವ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಫೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ suppose a father-in-law out of natural love can give daughter-in-law, yes or no, a diamond necklace on her wedding? Correct? Natural love and affection. Does there to be something in return? Irlebeka. But if he does not give her the diamond necklace, can she recover that diamond necklace? Take father-in-law to the court and recover that necklace? Generally, because it is a social agreement, welfare versus welfare, you cannot. But if there are some conditions fulfilled, then she can take the father-in-law to the court. What conditions she need to fulfill? First, it should be made out of natural love and affection. Second, they must stand in near relationship. Near relationship idala father and daughter. But it must be in writing. And it also should be registered under law. It is as good as what you are making, a proper agreement to give her the thing without any consideration. You are just giving her as a gift. Then it is valid. She can recover that particular necklace. Are you clear? Okay. So these two conditions very, very important. Must be in writing, must be registered under law. Then it is not a social agreement. It is a legal agreement. Okay. Clear? Now, see, husband promised to pay earnings to his wife. Held agreement though without consideration was valid. Ilenin words bandide. By registered agreement. Can you see this word here? Registered agreement word has come. So hence it is not social, it is legal. Are you clear? So while reading, please read in the exam carefully. If it is a registered agreement and promise to pay, then it is valid one, not a social. Clear? Otherwise in the exam you will just read there is a husband and wife and it is a social agreement. So just don't decide it like that. Next, compensation to pay for the voluntary services. You'll notice voluntarily you have given the service. Suppose I said no, voluntarily we have taken the service. Suppose service was given voluntarily. Voluntarily antandre what is meant by voluntarily? I have not asked for it. You have did it on your own. So services you have done for the promiser. And promiser must exist at the time when the service was given. And promiser must intend to have the intention to compensate the promisee. Ivella 4 conditions fulfill adre only matra. See now let us take an example. You will get all the 4 points clearly. Now P finds our wallet and gives it to him. Dariyalla nan wallet siktu. Adi yaardanta nan gottu. I just handed it over. Okay. Now he was so happy that he found his wallet. Might be something very precious in the wallet. Wallet nal tumba cash ittu ankolona. Like it was around 1 lakh cash in that wallet. So if I hand back the wallet to that particular person, will he be happy or not? Yes, definitely he'll be happy. Now, because he was so happy, he promised to give me 1,000 rupees out of that money. Tell me, is it a valid contract? If he promised that he will give me 1,000 rupees. He promised he will give me 1,000 rupees. Now, if he does not give me 1,000 rupees, later naning naale 1,000 rupees kodtene. Because he was so happy. That 1 lakh now he has to give to somebody else. So he said that I will give 1,000 to you tomorrow. Can I recover that amount from him? If he does not pay me, can I recover and take him to the court? Yes, I can. Okay. How? Because it is he only promised. I did not ask. Avanu promise ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ he was also free, I was also free. But when the promiser makes a promise that he will compensate for the services voluntarily taken, then he has to fulfill the promise. Okay, that's the exception to the section 25. Are you clear? So ಏನೇನ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು? ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ವಾಲಂಟರಿಲಿ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಅವ್ನು ವಾಲಂಟರಿಲಿ he gave, ಯಾರು ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅವನಿಗೆ ವಾಲೆಟ್ ತಂದು ಕೊಡು ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ಅವ್ನು ಯಾರ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ? ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸರ್ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ. And promiser ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದ, ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದ, ಎಸ್. And ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸರ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಇಂಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ? ನನ್ನ ಸರ್ವಿಸಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕಂಪೆನ್ಸೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ. At that time they have to fulfill. Clear? Now, X had helped his nephew to fight a case in the court using his knowledge and intellect. After Y won the case, he promised to pay 10,000. This is a valid contract as it is a compensation to the past services. It is all past consideration, related to past consideration. We said no consideration can be past, present and future. So, these are the examples of past consideration. So, what happened? There was an uncle who fought for his nephew and won the case. Okay, now nephew is so happy now because he has provided some services to the nephew voluntarily. He promises that he will pay 10,000 to the uncle. Can uncle recover the amount? Yes, he can. Okay, are you clear? Next, promise to pay time barred debts. Time barred debts, let us understand a concept. Have I already explained about time barred debts? No? No. Okay. So, time barred debts, let us understand this topic. I think I have, but I am not sure whether in this class or not. Time barred debts. Yes, I have, I guess, yes, in the first unit itself. Time barred debts means the debts which cross 3 years of time. Yes, if you don't take any legal action within 3 years of time, you should forget the debt, correct? That's what we said. But after 3 years, the other person who is supposed to pay that debt is a very good person. Okay, he says it, he promises after 3 years. 3 years mugdogittu, sumne kutkonbidbekittala. He could have remained silent, but he is a very good person. He is having guilt that he has to pay. He wants to pay. What he will do now? Suppose now he promises, I will definitely pay your amount, whatever it is, I'll pay in settlement, total debts nalli, I'll pay you 10,000 rupees in total settlement. Now, after he made a promise of such kind, he is bound by that promise. He has to pay, even though 3 years have gone by. 3 years mugdogittu, avandu obligation mugdogittu. But still, because he promised on his own, ನಾವು ಯಾರು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ, he promised on his own to pay the debts. Suppose ನಿನ್ಗೆ ಬರೋದಿತ್ತು 20,000, but ಅವನೇನಂದ I promised to pay 10,000 in full settlement. Then he is bound to give 10,000 to you. Not 20, but he is bound to pay how much? 10,000. Are you clear? See, where a promise in writing, signed by the person making it or by his agent, is made to pay time barred debt by limitation is valid. Again, in all these cases, it's very important, it must be in writing and signed. On person mattin madda made an agreement that I will pay you 10,000 rupees in writing and signed. So, hence then it is valid. See, A is indebted to C for 60,000. 60,000 kodadaite. But the time is time barred. Mugdoito. But now A signs a written promise to pay 50,000 in final settlement. Can. Even though it is without consideration, but he can. The agreement is enforceable. Yes, it is enforceable for 50,000 only, not 60. That's the thing. Next, agency. To create the agency is considerations not required. Next, completed gifts. In case of gifts also, consideration not required. Even though there is nothing in return, you can enforce that contract, recover. If somebody promised and does not give you the gift, you can recover that gift. But again, completed gifts, no consideration, no contract does not apply. Nothing in this section shall affect the validity as between the donor and donee of any gift actually made on. Last one, bailment. Bailment is what? Again, I'll give you a literally small example of bailment. Bailment means jail bail. If you go to jail, you will get a bail. Yes, but this is not the bailment we are discussing here. Completely not related. Bailment andre enu? What is meant by the bailment? I'll give you a simple example. When I go, suppose I want to go to the restaurant. All of the family members are going to the restaurant. Family get together. So what I'll do, I'll just lock the house. Key, where to carry? I'll just hand it over to my neighbor. Okay, please itko. Whenever I come back, give me back the key. Now, I'll go to the restaurant, finish my dinner and come back. What is her duty? To give back the key. That's called a bailment. Bailment means, now read the definition, you will try to understand relate my example and understand the definition. Okay, delivery of goods from one to another. What did we deliver? Key. Correct? We delivered what? Key from one to another, from to our neighbor. This delivery is made upon a contract that post accomplishment of the purpose. Nan hotel inda ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ನನ್ನ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಮುಗಿದ ಮೇಲೆ the goods should be either returned. ನಂಗೆ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ we have gone. ಇಲ್ಲ ನಿಂದೆ ಮನೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂತೀಯ? If I give you the key, no ಅಲ್ಲ, you have to return me the key after the accomplishment of the purpose. Or disposed of according to the directions of the person delivering them. Nan prakara. If I tell that give it to my daughter when she comes, so she'll hand it over to the daughter according to my directions. Either return it to me or according to my directions dispose of accordingly. Okay, so no consideration is required to affect a contract of bailment. Is it necessary that I should pay my neighbor for keeping the key in her house? No. Consideration illa ಅಂದ್ರೂ there is a valid contract. ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಹೆಂಗಾಯ್ತು? ಅವಳು ಕೀ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಐ ರಿಕವರ್ ದಟ್ ಕೀ? ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಐ ಗೋ ಟು ದ ಕೋರ್ಟ್? ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಐ sue her? Yes, you can, because it's a valid contract. Even though there is no consideration, you can recover that. But it is not? It's a contract of bailments. Even though these are bailment, any kind of bailment contracts. Suppose, very simple example again, I have a piece of cloth. Okay, I give it to my tailor. Tailor ige ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ? Make a beautiful dress out of it and return me back. But this is a payment. Okay, gratuitous bailment I have to tell you. It's a non-gratuitous bailment. Illantru we will paying the money. Non-gratuitous bailments will be like keeping the key, or suppose what happens whenever we go on a vacations. Vacations hodre mostly nobody keeps gold and jewelry in their home. What they do, they give it to their trusted persons. Itkolli bandmele vapas kodi. Correct? Now you go, after you come back, they will have to give you back. If they don't give you your jewelry, can you sue them? Yes, you can. Because these are the bailment cases. Okay, even though there is no consideration, you can recover that. Clear? Now last one is charity. Charity means in case of charity also, suppose you have promised that you will donate 10,000 to this particular temple and afterwards you don't donate. Can that temple recover the amount? So let us read this case law and then you decide. Kadarnath versus Gori Muhammad. What happened? See, G promised K, the secretary of committee, to donate 1 lakh for the renovation of the temple. Okay, they said 1 lakh kotta idare for renovation. So without waiting for the amount to be received, he started renovations. Engidru 1 lakh barta ide, temple needs renovations, so let us start the renovations. They started the renovations on the faith of the promise. Secretary has incurred some cost for renovation. Now can secretary claim the amount from G even the contract was without consideration? ಈಗ 1 lakh was supposed to be given for renovations, correct? ಅವ್ರು ಕೆಲಸ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಇನ್ನೂ 1 lakh ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ದೇ ರಿಕವರ್ ದಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್? ಎಸ್, ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ contracts where there is no consideration, but still those are valid contracts. Let us quickly recall one by one. What are those? First one, nature of love and affection, but there are some conditions, you should remember that conditions. Okay, first, natural love and affection. Second, past voluntary services. Third, time barred debts. Fourth, here it should be in writing. Here it should be in writing. Okay, writing. Next, agency, no consideration required. Third, next, completed gifts, bailments, and charity. Okay, we will keep the class till here. Go through all the theory what has been taught today. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the next class. Okay, so bye. Thank you so much.